Hey everyone, it's Josh, RN with Nuri Clinic, and I'm here with Doug Grant here today to discuss some of the importance about supplementation and nutrition when taking a peptide protocol. So
Absolutely.
Doug, I know that we have the peptide support pack as well as the natural NSAID pack that goes with our recovery program. Can you talk a little bit about how those were designed and what they assist with within the program?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the thousands of doctors that use peptides across the nation and have done it for years noticed that sometimes the peptides would work better than others. And the question is why? Because, you know, when you give someone a drug, it creates a reaction pretty much no matter what, right? But when in the health world, nutrition world, when you give people certain nutrients, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. And it comes down to, you know, what form they're in. Now, with peptides, it's a little bit different than, you know, whole foods, vitamin supplements, or drugs. With peptides, it's about stimulating the body to perform an action. That's what makes them so great. It just provides that stimulus. And the thing that is really important to understand is that if the body doesn't have the nutrients, if the mitochondria can't produce the ATP, right? If those things are not present, then that peptide is going to stimulate, but there's no nutrients, right? No fuel to be able to make whatever reaction it is wanting to have happen. Right? We're not going to get the inflammation reduction, the bone repair. We're not going to be able to stimulate to actually help with the appetite and to speed up the metabolism. So what we've learned is there are specific nutrients that when paired with the peptides actually make the peptides work much better. In fact, that's the only thing that makes them work. You have to have the nutrients. And so we were very careful about putting the nutrients specific to the peptide in the formulas.
Right.
And one of them we put in there was like, hey, we know the top peptides are going to be used. Let's create a peptide support pack that will cover most of the peptides that are in there. So no matter you know which one of the top peptides like that Nuri has, that it would be covered, and that the patient, the client, would be able to get the fuel needed once you put that, you know, stimulation in from the peptide. Yeah.
So it's almost like the peptide is a message. That's the thing that we're sending into the body. It has its instruction code, but it doesn't matter if we can stimulate and send the message if we have no resources to actually enact that process,
100%.
right?
That's actually a great way to put it.
Awesome. Now, when it comes to the Wolverine Recovery Program, we include the natural NSAID pack from Optimal Health. What is the design behind that and the enzymes that are in there, and how does that work and help aid in the reduction of inflammation and the healing?
Great question. So we learned way back when working in the NBA and even in the 90s that people that were taking NSAIDs, right, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, ibuprofens, and even some people throw the Tylenols and those things in those categories, that it was depleting the body at a very high rate of things like glutathione and certain nutrients, and many times it would actually slow down the healing. It might help with inflammation in the moment. And so the side effects were such that we had to come up with an answer. And we understood the body, what it's really wanting to do is to boost its ability to digest out the things that maybe cause inflammation, the muscle, the tissue that was damaged, or whatever it might be, or even the proteins that are in the blood that's causing this inflammation. And it wants to be able to do that with enzymes. And if we are already abusing our enzymes because we're eating food that's cooked and processed, the body didn't have the ability to come in, like when we're younger, and, you know, break down those proteins and speed up the process. So we made and implemented and tested what is now the natural NSAID pack for years with professional athletes, with the patients of doctors. And what we learned with the Wolverine protocol is that providing those proteolytic enzymes to the bloodstream when the Wolverine protocol of BPC-157 and TB500 is hit, it speeds it up dramatically, and it allows those peptides to actually increase the healing process even faster, because as you said, now the signal's happening, but then the nutrients, specifically the enzymes that are needed that it wants to stimulate, are in there, and it can stimulate them to go in and to help with the balance in the body, to be able to, you know, the prostaglandins, and it gets a little deep, right? The good in prostaglandins, and to be able to create that balance faster.
Yeah, awesome. So I see how those two go hand in hand. The peptides can signal the recovery process, but the supplementation helps kind of get them a leg up on the process. The
Absolutely.
peptides have less to work against because the supplements are helping digest all of those inflammatory byproducts so the peptides can get to work.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. You know, in other worlds, they'd say it's like putting nitric oxide on a car or a turbo on a car, right? Like it's already going and it's a good chance it's going to work, but why not get in there and really put that power in so that it can supercharge the system to get what you're wanting done even faster and healthier, that you're not creating any deficiencies in the body.
Absolutely, because ultimately, no one wants recovery to take a long time.
Absolutely.
So the more resources and the more signals we can give, the faster recovery we can get.
Absolutely. I think it comes down to that, and the top two things: fastest recovery, but also long-term not causing any damage. And in this case with the peptides and the supplements, you get both. Faster recovery or faster reaction of any peptide, and you get the long-term health benefits.
Awesome. So very clear, nutrition is a very important part of a peptide protocol. No matter the peptide protocol you're using and the health and wellness goal you have, supplementation and nutrition is going to allow you to get the most out of that protocol as possible.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doug.